Hello everyone, George here, and we're back in Unity, and as you see we've got, from the last video, our Pirate Cove inside with the multiple different assets, and I took a few minutes and went ahead and already opened my code because I swear I had already implemented a system, at least a system to track how long I had been watching a particular camera. At that time, I believe my intent was basically just to use that information in case I need to decide if the player's looking at something too long and screwing them over for doing that. However, more importantly, now that I have a system like this, and if you don't remember, it's probably, I don't know, we're up to video 70 at this point, so it's probably a long time ago that I did this one, but it's the camera manager that we're looking at in particular. And specifically, I store an array of float values, which is how long between views for a particular camera. So while this isn't the most efficient thing in the world, but it's working just fine. But the idea is that I continually update the watch times by iterating over every single one. If I'm not looking at it, we increase the time. If I am looking at it, we just set it to 0 continually over and over and over again. So I think we're going to be able to use that value to handle Foxy continually opening and closing these curtains, basically. So the first thing we need to do, of course, is create a script to control the curtains in their different states. So let's go to Pirate Cove, right-click, create, and a new C# script. So let's rename this Pirate Cove, and double-click it to open it. And here we are. So let's make sure we rename that to Pirate Cove, otherwise we'll get errors. Save. And on start, well, we do need to grab references, but these references can be stored, you know, in the inspector. That is, we can set them up within the inspector. So let's just do that because it's easy. Mesh render, curtain 1. We're going to do this a couple times. We'll make it public for now. We could do a non-public version of this if we wanted to, but it doesn't really matter at the moment. So 2 and 3. So those are our 3 curtains. Let's just make sure we apply this right now. So we have Pirate Cove, drag the script onto Pirate Cove. Cannot do it because stuff is broken. I'm going to close out of that really quick and drag that to Pirate Cove, and now it works. Let's put curtain 1, 2, and 3 under the inspector. Once again, double-click the script to open up Visual Studio. We're going to go back inside of this now, and basically this is a state machine. I mean, there's not much else going on here. We're going to turn curtains off and turn curtains on based upon whatever the user decides to do, or I should say, whatever the user decides not to watch Foxy. So let's do curtain 2 dot enabled is false. And we're going to do the same thing for curtain 3. So they're off. We don't need an update loop, so let's not worry ourselves with that. So we can do this a couple different ways. It's a state machine, so we can make an enumeration, we can pass in that value, we can make it public, and other people can communicate to us and let us know when we're supposed to be moving through these different curtain states, or we can make multiple functions for each curtain state. It's up to preference at this point. So let's just create some functions and make this work. So let's do public void curtain 1, and we're going to make 3 more functions like this. And each of these functions is going to reset everything going on and make it exactly that particular state. So here's curtain 1. In curtain 1, we're going to want to do some enabling and disabling. So we'll do curtain 1.enabled is equal to true. We're going to copy all this code. Whoops, copy, not cut, and paste it in both of these. And basically, we're just going to move what's true and what's false. As you can see here, curtain 2 is true, and curtain 3 is true. And we're going to let this script be relatively simple for the Pirate Cove, because it's probably going to be controlled by another script, I'm guessing. Once again, as usual, I'm just doing this stuff as I please. So we'll probably make a manager just for Foxy with the ability for him to run out and do his thing, and that script is then going to call these public methods to make sure the curtain is in the right state. And we're not going to notice anything, obviously, because of this. We are in a test scene, by the way, for the same test scene from last time. And the idea being that we'll end up implementing this in our final scene once it's, up to par and works properly. Let's go ahead and save this scene just so we have it in the future and call it Pirate Cove test _ Pirate Cove. Enter. Great. So why don't we make a prefab out of this thing and bring it into the other scene? Now, mind you, I have not yet gone through and exported out the fixed version of this scene. So remember how I had like a... Nah, you know what? I'm talking to you. Why don't we just do it and make it happen? Let's go to Steam. I'm going to open up my LT. I'm going to go to File and find my last version of this scene. So let's go to Recent Files and Rough Layout 4. So this is the rough layout. As you can see, I had pulled out an element that was the same size as this, so we can go ahead and delete that. But ultimately, I've made enough space for Pirate Cove to work here. So I kind of need to re-export this whole thing out. And I have a template door over there. I'm just going to hide that for now. Save everything out again. Export to Unity. It wasn't the selection. Let's go to Window and Outliner. Ooh, that's a mess, isn't it? What is that? That cube doesn't even exist anymore. None of these probably exist. So let's just, I'm going to zoom out and hit delete, and nothing bad happened. Great. Continuing on with that, that's the entire naming conventions. What was I thinking? And let's just try a file, send to Unity, and see if this works. Unity, send to Unity, all, why not? And let's go up a level and go to our FBX folder and do building 01. Yes. Now we're going to see how much I broke everything. Let's go to this scene now, and Unity's updating, which worries me, and scenes, test build 02. And everything looks not broken. I'm always amazed at how well Unity over the years has adapted to assets being re-added to the scene, and it's getting there to really do a good job, so long as you think before you do things. We should have room. Let's turn the lighting off. Yes, we have now room for Pirate's Cove right there. So let's go ahead to the Pirate Cove, grab our prefab. We didn't make a prefab. Let's go back to our other scene then. Scenes, Pirate Cove. And let's make a prefab out of this object. So grab the Pirate Cove itself, move that down into Pirate Cove. Save it. Let's go back to the other scene now. Scenes, test build, and just put it right where it belongs. Alright, so there's Pirate Cove. Once again, it's Z forward, so we're just going to need to rotate this thing. Let's rotate it 90 degrees. Negative 90 right there. And let's just sandwich that into the spot that it needs to be in. Let's do a isometric view from the top. Yeah, there we are. And just put it where you think it should go. There we are. Perspective mode again, and we have our curtains, but it's way too low, so let's move it up a little bit. There we are. I'm going to be very interested to see what the camera actually does. And now, of course, where Foxy should be is in the wrong place, so we should move that into the general area. And I can't exactly remember where I place things in terms of their local pivots, so we're going to move it just inside the curtain for when we play around with things. Okay, so now we have it, we have the different states, but the states need to be controlled by some mechanism, and that mechanism is going to end up being our camera manager. So we need to jump into the camera manager really quick and figure out how that's going to end up telling Foxy to move from state to state to state. So what's important now is not that every camera gets updated. Specifically, we need to make sure that Foxy's camera is being monitored in terms of time. So coming over here, let's find the right camera that actually is meant for this area. There we are. So it's camera 7 that's oriented and looks directly at Foxy. So when camera 7 has some duration, we need to make sure those different stages of the curtain open up. So that's going to be camera 7 under this here, or camera 11 within the array. So we want to make sure that when camera 11 goes past some duration, we should be implementing the next version of Foxy. So let's just create some protected float Foxy time to kill _1 is equal to, I don't know, I have no idea what the times are for this game. I'm going to assume the first one is pretty long. We're going to start with 20F, and let's just make a few more, because obviously within each level, as you progress, the amount of time is going to change. So let's do 1, 2, and 3, and I'm going to just decrease these ever so slightly. So there's 20, there's 15, and there's 10. That's a very large window of time so that I know what's happening while I'm debugging things. So Foxy time to kill. Let's just create a new method called void check for Foxy. Now within this, it's going to continually check that particular camera's time, which is camera 11. So camera 11. We also need to record the state of Foxy moving through these things though, because camera 11 by itself doesn't mean anything. We need to know if we're on level 1, 2, or 3 with Foxy. So that's got to be something else we store. So let's just create an integer value, just make this, easy. Protected int Foxy level is equal to 0. And that's 0 based, this is 1 based. Let's keep it 1 based. So Foxy level is right there. Coming on back down to check for Foxy, to camera time between views. So let's just do a series of if statements or a switch statement. It's up to you. If blank blank blank, else if something, and then let's do the next one. Else if the final. So if Foxy level is equal to 1, 2, or 3. 2 or 3. Then we're going to do whatever it is we need to do. And we're going to, of course, need to check this time here, here, and here. So if we're on level 1, and the time dot be whatever, this thing, if this is greater than this value, Foxy time to kill 1, then we need to increment to the next Foxy level. So Foxy level is equal to 1 or plus plus, it's up to you. We do want to reset the time, but we don't want to just reset the time, we want to include the time that's passed since that last one. So we need to do camera time between intervals 11 is going to be equal to camera time intervals between 11 minus Foxy time to kill. The idea behind this is if you decide to wait a really long time, it's going to make Foxy move on. It's not dependent on you choosing to see Foxy. And this is then going to need to call information on the Pirate's Cove script to cause it to move to the next state, or curtain 1, curtain 2, curtain 3. Therefore, this needs to find that object. Since it's going to be the only Pirate Cove in the entire game, I can find it during start and store it away. So let's do a wrong one. Let's go back to Camera Manager. I know this is getting a little bit dirty because I'm putting Foxy stuff in the Camera Manager, and maybe we'll change this in the future, but for right now it's going to work. So let's just do protected Pirate Cove, Pirate Cove, and we'll find that shortly. So with an awake we can just find it here. So let's do Pirate Cove is equal to find object of type, because there's only one, and we'll do Pirate Cove. There we are. It's up to you. You want to use the inspector, go for it. I'm just going to work with this. Moving along again, within here, now we need to increment Pirate Cove dot, and we have those methods we implemented. So we have, curtain 1, 2, and 3, and all that great stuff. Coming over here, curtain 1. So let's do that. Dot. This is curtain 2. We're going to do the same thing for these other methods as well. So I'm going to copy all this code. We might as well just paste it right there. And there again. And instead of Foxy time to kill 2, it's 2 and 3 here. There we are. And this should be 2 and 3 as well. And the Foxy level should increment with each value. Now on Foxy level equals to 3, we need to put a note to ourselves. Foxy needs to rush out and try to kill the player. And really after that, I'm going to put Foxy level back to 0 at the moment, or 1. The idea is if he doesn't successfully kill you, he runs back to where he was. This may cause problems in the future, but I haven't thought ahead enough to get to that point. So we'll deal with it soon enough. And let's see, Pirate Cove, curtain 2, curtain 3. There's no curtain 4, so I'm just going to reset this back to Pirate Cove curtain 1. Alright, so that's it for implementing Foxy, moving between different states, based upon time, which we had dealt with inside the camera manager. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a like. If you didn't, give me a dislike. It's how I know whether or not people are interested in this content. And if you want to see more of this content in the future and not have to search for it, feel free to subscribe. It always lets me know that people are out there watching and, you know, like what I'm doing. Thanks again, everyone. I hope you have a great night or day, whatever it is. So long. Bye.